Climb through the clutter. These are the hard facts. Hi, I'm Samantha Cunningham Zawilinski, and this week on Hard Facts, are you planning on spending thousands, if not tens of thousands of dollars this year to try and get your company's product, services, and information out there? Well, if so, you're not alone. You're one of the thousands of business owners that's going to be displaying their product or service at a trade show. But there are a few things you need to make sure you're doing to maximize the value of this opportunity in displaying your business. So often we show up at a trade show because somebody told us we should be there, or we got an email and it seemed like it would be a great opportunity to try and talk to potential customers about our product or our business. But what are you really looking to get out of it? So many times we don't define what the goal of the show is. And that goal can be you want to create awareness, or maybe you want to walk away with purchases in hand. But what are you going to be selling? Pinpoint that clear, specific product or service you want customers to understand when visiting your booth. So many times we talk about every single thing that we do, and that's great if there is a clear and concise message in doing so. However, so many times all of that information ends up confusing a potential customer about what you actually do and how you can solve their problem. Because at the end of the day, all of our services solve some problem an individual or a business has. So when you go into launching and creating your trade show messaging, your booth, your material, you need to understand what is your goal. So what is my goal as a business? What do I want people walking away purchasing or coming back to have a conversation about a purchase for? What is that product? What is that service? And then that should be specifically what you're displaying at that booth. Sure, you can talk about your other products and have additional information, but that should be the product that you have a show special on. So it's pushing individuals into that booth to find out, hey, maybe I should buy this product or this service at your booth because there's a special. Make sure that all of your pieces of information align with one another to make it a really easy conversation with that potential customer. But before you even get there, is this a good investment? So many times trade shows are so expensive and you're hoping, really wishing, that it turns out an ROI. So what you want to make sure you understand is the amount of attendance your booth is going to get, what that potential looks like for customers. Then what you want to do is say, what am I selling and how much is that sale? Look at what your ROI ends up being from each cost per sale. So if your trade show is $10,000 and your average product sale is going to be $2,000, plus all of the costs that it takes to actually provide that product or service to the customer, how long is it going to take you to recoup that investment? What is the benefit of being at that trade show versus maybe putting $2,000 behind a digital marketing campaign? If your goal is just creating awareness and trying to penetrate a market, sure, maybe it's a good investment. If you have a product that there's a natural need for and no competition in market, maybe a trade show really isn't where you should be spending your money. But don't just think it is a good investment. Look at what that's going to take in terms of paying yourself back for being there. Because not only is it the cost of that trade show booth, it's individual staffing it, it's travel, it's marketing time, it's lost opportunity if you're running a one-man show and you're not back in the office that day. So it's a good investment, you're gonna do it. Okay, great. Now here's what you need to know. If you do not have a pre-show and post-show marketing plan, just throw it out the door and don't even go. Why? Because 70% of individuals choose what booths they're going to be visiting before the show ever starts. So what can you do to get customers interested in visiting you? Well, one of the most underutilized areas is, honestly, it's pure laziness. I've been guilty of it, is actually utilizing the marketing portals that belong to the trade show that you're going to be displaying at. So a lot of the times that means you can have your company information display on the trade show website. You can have a description of your products and services, your company information, and how to contact you. Make sure you, as robustly as possible, fill out that portal. Now, great, that's done. What else can you do? Social media and email marketing are going to be two great things you can use to attract new audiences, attract your current audience, as well as make sure you're talking to all customers that may have at one point expressed an interest in your product but may not have purchased. As well as if you're rolling out a new product at this trade show, you want to make sure you're talking to everybody, individuals who like your competition, so you can utilize digital marketing, social media, individuals who have purchased or liked those other companies' pages, for example, or have interest in that product. Utilize all of the tools and assets available to you and make sure you're starting at least 6 weeks ahead of time. People are beginning to plan their trip and plan their agenda. Make sure you're on it. Now, post-show. Did you know that only 27% of leads are actually ever really followed up on? That's an abysmal number, and I would hate to see your company be part of that statistic. So make sure that if you don't reach the customer on the first or second attempt, you don't count them out. On average, companies only follow up 1.5% of the time, or 1.5 times. So what that means is they're just saying, I'm gonna try, if I don't get them, so what? Well, you know what, maybe I didn't get back from my trip yet because after a couple days at the New Orleans trade show, I decided I was gonna take a mental health day. You missed that opportunity, so don't give up. 6 to 9 times of a combination of email and phone calls should do it for you. That's the point where you'll probably get not being a pest, but some sort of response, whether it's positive or negative. So here's some tips that you can take into account as you're planning and choosing whether or not to participate in that 2017 trade show. That's just another example of how a hard fact turns into a solid strategy. Like, tweet, or comment below on a topic you'd like me to cover, and I'll see you next week.